to Twitch. Man, we are live 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 places. Going live to 10.
Got a hold on me. There's no better way that I could ever see. 247 got a hold on me. I'm doing time for you, girl, every day. 247 got a hold on me.
And that cough
lock it up, lock it down.
not corona.
247 got a hold on me. Every minute, every hour, every day. 247 got a hold on me.
It's not corona.
There's no better way that I could ever say it.
It's weed.
247 got a hold on me. I'm doing time for you, girl, every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me.
Yeah. Take a sip. Get ready to take a dip. Morning Coffee with Mario coming up. We got news. Y'all got questions. Let me know. We on the same tip. All right, y'all. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
My claps ain't working, but that's okay. Time for you to get up, move your hips. That sink those ships. It's time, y'all. Morning coffee. Yeah, come on. Come on.
Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe with it. Vibe with it, vibe with it. Be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe with it. Unleash the verbal blessing, cold and sick with herbal lessons. So kick back, chill, relax, and learn a lesson. No 9mm, no heaters, a Smith & Wesson. You'll find this rhyme stay pure with no question. This time, let's vibe one time without weapons and groove with the music in the school session. This time, let's vibe one time without weapons and the beat to me like sap to a tree. It's in me. The rap happens to set me free. Instantly when the mic touch this MC. Without the mic, this MC feel empty. I'm telling y'all, it's the lyrical recipe, lyrical ecstasy. Hearing no less from me, I accept and expect no less than the best and inject intellect without disrespect. Come on, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe, yeah. Be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe with it. It's like an epidemic, pop star gimmick. Get it, then realize that you in it and you're finished. Don't dream diminish. See, I play the season, y'all have a scrimmage. I spit with reason, y'all hit the image. But I believe the dream has no limits. I believe that's the whole reason we live it. But they don't get it, they like it's not right, is it? No visit, hip hop here to stay, no shizit. We gonna get it, new improved music, move and groove with it. Choose who you get with. I smack rap back like it's too hard. My flow hard like Dick, get the skimpy clothes on individuals when anything goes. The player pick 'em like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Got soul, got so much funk up in the rap, I should pack a fat bowl. Y'all should kick back, relax, and just roll. roll with me, vibe with me, roll with me, vibe with me, roll with me, come on and vibe with me. Hip hop ain't dead, just keep it alive with me. Cool, be cool, just move with the groove. Funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe. Let's just do what we came to do, just vibe.
Come on.
Vibe with it.
Be cool. What's happening, everybody? Yeah, no claps today. Yeah, shit ain't working. Good morning, everyone. What can I say? It's here we are live this morning, Pax Stereo TV. Morning Coffee with Mario, the show that comes to you, featuring reality talk, coming to you straight from Los Angeles, View Park, California. We may not be in the ghetto, but we can see the fence. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Victor Allen, everybody. Give it up for Victor Allen. I think I got claps somewhere.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Do you need some water? You could always take 10.
10.
Yeah.
10 might be enough.
First of all, let me make sure that I'm socially distant. Let's see. 1, 2, 3,
I don't even know this
4,
shit ain't
5,
working.
6, 7, 8, 9. I'm 10 feet away from you. I'm distant.
You distant. They said no more. You guys dealing with Welcome to Morning Coffee. I'm telling you guys, everybody's dealing with lockdown. We're dealing with lockdown. Coming here from Los Angeles. It's a trip. And we're going to be talking about that today. We got the full show. I've been up this morning watching the stuff, trying to see what's happening, paying attention. You don't see us live on YouTube. We're on live on YouTube, one of those places. Man, okay, you guys, I've been dealing with updates all morning. I got no claps.
What?
I got no sound effects, dude. And, it's funny how you miss the little things. That's what this Corona stuff.
Hey, man.
You missed the little shit.
What you gonna? Let me tell you something.
I'm out of butter.
Let me tell you what's gonna happen. You know those facilities that deal with people and apps and production and output have to be socially distant. So you do know there's going to be a little bit of strain, even on those providers, right?
There'll be a lot of strain.
So let me just ask you this because it was very important. Mara, did you practice social distancing over the weekend?
I did practice social distancing. Now let me say this. Some of the distance, they was already here, so it was already mute.
Wait,
but no, I practiced social distancing because I did not share my pipe. Anyone who came over who smoked weed, I actually gave them weed and papers. So I practiced social distancing is that I did not share marijuana.
What about that food?
With anyone. I just want you to know. No sucking on the same pipe.
What about the food?
You can't pass a joint. You can't do none of that. You got to bring your own pipe.
What about the food?
What about the food?
We had delivery. Remember?
Well, you can't isolate 100%. Social distancing, food delivery is actually the way they want you to go.
That's right.
So we did have food. We did have food delivery. I had a few food deliveries. And those people were glad to be working, by the way. Uber Eats. We had food delivery.
Yeah.
And we also had grocery delivery. So last night I cooked up some baby back ribs, some cabbage, rice. Not bad. Yeah, I did some cooking, right, Vic?
Yeah, it was good.
Around here,
it was healthy and good.
You cook around the compound, so when people come over, they can have some food. So I did cook, and we have plenty of leftovers today. But it is another day of lockdown, and I'm trying to get a feel for this. Just trying to get a feel, because and I think people have been writing to me, and calling me and talking about how they're dealing with the lockdown. And the thing is, this is universal. In some ways, having a bigger space may be better, but not necessarily so. When I think about my dorm room back at Howard, that was a little teeny tiny room, I guess, the single, but it sure felt good and comfortable. And people are in different sizes of space. So, I guess part of it is how you feel about your space. Do you have enough room to do things, or are you sharing your space? Now, Vic, what are you doing to cope?
Oh, it's kind of easy for me because it kind of falls into something that I was already doing. I was doing my bike exercise, and mainly solo, of course, and the treks. So I just kind of go from point A and keep going. there is no kind of pathway for me to stop. And so a lot of the things that I was already doing, far as either documenting, or if I literally sit back and say I have to have a strong requirement for me to stop at a spot, and then, let me say, hey, let me just practice the same things everybody else. But I'm not just going like, hey, let me just stop over here, let me do this for the hell of it, because I just need to see somebody. As we had people over here this weekend, I counted 10 and a half people. I counted 10.
Well, over this weekend, now that's counting us.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Okay, so it was me, you,
Right.
Mel, Ian. Okay, that's 4 already.
Huey, Marvin.
Marvin Smith, 15-year drummer for
Yeah.
The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And then Candace, and she brought her 2 lovely.
Right.
Candace was over here shooting, man. Y'all, I want to give some claps up to Candace for.
All right, there you go.
Glad,
She did a good job.
Candace did a good job because she brought us some eye candy. Now, some of the brothers out there on Facebook saw the postings that I was making. Mm-hmm. Candace came by. She was doing some exercises. She was going crazy in her apartment. So I said, come over here and do some work.
That's social distance. Working while you're distant.
And a degree, because we need to get some stuff done. And we're debating how to, interact with you all for entertainment and for information. So Candace came by, and then later in the day, had 2 of her fine friends come by here.
They were.
I forgot Melissa's name because Melissa's she's on a show.
Right.
She's on a series.
Okay.
That's doing pretty well.
Right.
I got to get Melissa's name so we can give her shout-outs. And Carrie Behrens has been in the Black Panther.
Right.
The Avengers. She's one of the bald-headed bad babes.
Right.
In the Black Panther.
And I think Melissa is allergic to cats, right?
Everybody's allergic to cats.
See,
Everybody.
So you got to deal with
cat
that.
owners are allergic to cats.
So you having problems, man.
No, I was fine. My nose is stuffed up anyway because I smoke so much weed.
Okay.
So that's allergy. First, I tell y'all, when I did allergy clinic at County, we did allergy testing as part of the clinic. And so every day as we did the allergy tests, every patient was positive in every category. So I'm doing this every clinic.
Right.
And I finally say to the professors attending, everybody's positive.
There you go.
Everybody's positive in everything. What good is a test is when everybody's positive?
That's right.
And their response was, there's a lot of allergy out there, Mario. That's one of your leading academic institutions, which goes to show you there's a lot of allergy in there. And also, like I said, if you're out there doing allergy tests and every patient is positive, like I would ask an allergist, ever done a negative allergy test?
Right. Right.
Ask them that. Have they ever got a negative? And they go, oh, well, what's that?
So
okay.
you're going to have some glowing positive news this morning, right?
No, hell no, I ain't got no glowing positive news.
But you just had a productive.
Positive.
You had a productive weekend, and you have no positive.
No, I have some positive. I just don't know that it's all that. So we got some positives.
Okay.
We got some positives.
All right.
The Pax Stereo emergency broadcast system, pictured here, is almost up and ready.
Is that positive?
Yeah, because this system here, which looks a little old, but which I bought for about $2,000 from somewhere in Asia, allows me to broadcast, cover all of Los Angeles and even into the Valley.
Oh yeah.
So I'm getting that backfired up.
Right.
And I will be letting you know about that. The Pax Stereo FM. The question, Vic, does anybody listen to FM?
Let me say this: there's some diehard radio listeners in cars, no matter what. There's still some, believe it or not. It's just, are they as substantial as they were before?
Well, I'm just
there
saying.
are some diehards. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, our emergency broadcast system is FM. We also have an AM. I can set up an AM broadcast. I have an AM transmitter, so I could do AM also. But I just wonder if it's really worth it. But we will be setting up the Pax Stereo FM broadcast system. More to come on that.
Right.
So, okay. So once again, Candace Renee Rice, give you her update. She's posting. She's helped. Candace is working with us. See, she's on hiatus. So since Candace is on hiatus, you know, the whole point was she might as well do some stuff over here. She wants to do a YouTube video every day, so Candace is on her tip. So she's been running back and forth. We don't know where. She's out there somewhere today.
Okay.
Making products because she ships her
Right.
organics
Right.
products all over. Now remember, Candace got her own product line. Let's see if I can get that up for you. www www.yaaganix.com. Take a look. See? What am I doing it wrong? YAAGANIX. Oh, it's that, man, I gotta stop that WW stuff, dude. I'm trying to figure out that. So take a look. Here's their product line. Go. Now let me tell you something about Candace. That's the update to you guys. Take a look. Here's the website, Candace line. Now, Vic.
Yeah.
Candace did her own line
Right.
of hand sanitizer. This is Cherry Blossom aloe-based hand sanitizer. Okay, Cherry Blossom aloe-based. You know, and she gave me some. You know, she's always rubbing shit on me over here. Just saying, but you know, it's like they come up to you, Vic. Try my beauty product. I was
That's direct sell.
scrubbed and body buttered.
But they used to do that when you go in the mall. They have a little display out there, and they say, "Come on over here." She's
did.
practicing that, man.
And I was embarrassed then. You know, they used to remember women would take your hands at the mall. Here, sir, try some of this lovely cream. And I immediately would get thoughts that were a little bit, well, whatever. Anyway, I was thinking, I could use this lovely cream.
Okay.
I could use this.
All right.
I could use this lovely cream. But anyway, her Organics Cherry Blossom aloe-based hand sanitizer is still a deal. And right now she's got a deal where they give it to you. Look at, they'll give you the hand sanitizer free with orders of $40 or more. So go get some from Candace. She need to make some money. Got her mom and pops working with her too. Some family business.
Right.
Her dad is filling the orders.
Look, obvious, and here's the thing: when it gets down to crunch, your tribe, your village come together, right?
That's right.
And that's your fam.
It's all right. So we supporting our family and our friends. Also got to give a shout out for you guys to go look on Facebook. I posted yesterday what Emil Bonte, our longtime associate, the brother who I love dearly. He did his first broadcast using Switcher Studio, Vic. Mm-hmm. He liked it so much he did a 4-hour broadcast.
4 hours, had a lot to say, huh?
4-hour broadcast to Facebook. Go watch some of it.
4 hours.
But the point is that he was going to do. I didn't say shit. I didn't say. He said he wanted to do 3 1-hour episodes. It was his first time out. You know, you can't be discouraging to people. I said, well, go for it. 3 1-hour episodes. As it turned out, he did 1 4-hour episode. He had me there as a guest, talking about a variety of things. But go take a look. Emil Bonte talking all about launching his business, his gaming business, his online stream, and trying to do it with a spiritually conscious way. Go take a look at my friends, because it's some wonderful stuff to see. All right, full broadcast today. Vic, you got what you got coming up? I got a bunch of. Well, we got the regular updates.
Okay.
You know, which is, you know, it's the regular. There's a ton of stuff to talk about corona-wise. We're going to talk about the effects on restaurants and foods, what kind of taxpayer bailouts may be coming, what might you want.
Right.
We're going to talk about Lou Dobbs testing positive for corona and the wonderful karmic app things going on out there.
Right.
And, of course, we're going to be talking about marijuana for dummies, some of the things that are going on today with marijuana.
Okay. I got you.
What you got?
Well, you know, since we don't really have sports, you can't make it up, right? And can't make it up. So, hey, look, you guys, I'm watching everybody else struggle, especially on the major platforms, because they don't know what to do. They have to keep doing the number one topic over and over again, a football league, Tom Brady. I'm going to be doing vintage looking back, unusual sports interests, and dare to try. In other words, there's unusual sports, there are sports, and then there's those challenging sports. And it's up to you and I to determine that we have to back and take ourselves back to say how much we appreciate and do we want to bring it back. Hot picks. Oh, this one I love. Plus size entertainers. The ones that are what we call the trailblazers.
I know some.
Trailblazers now. And we have to vote who we think is number one. And just so you know, only active, not going back. No.
Oh, not going back.
Only
Okay.
active, and who you think is number one, because it's going to be interesting because they're still building out their resume. There you go. Hot picks, man.
All right, everybody. So stay tuned for the full Morning Coffee with Mario show. Here is our latest Hot Picks parade slideshow animation. I don't have any claps, man. And I'm out of butter.
Right, okay.
I'm out of butter,
You don't have to, man.
and I don't have any claps.
All you have to do is sit back and say, man, this is the you just put a little.
This is a shiznit.
There you go. That's enough,
The
man.
shiz. Wash your hands, damn
Just
it.
do whatever it takes, bro.
Hey baby, won't you slow me right down? Come and sit next to me. You know there's something I just gotta say. I've been trying to find the right words to say this honestly. So hoping I can find a way. 'Cause I've been going crazy just thinking of you. You must be so tired, spending all your time running through my mind. I guess that I'm addicted to all that you do. I could go to love, don't say enough about me and you. Every minute, every hour, every day, 247 got a hold on me. There's no better way that I could ever say it. 247 got a hold on me. I'm telling time for you good every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me. So baby, won't you take a look at me? Can't you see I'm all tied up? 'Cause I'm begging you for your touch, asking you for your hand. And I know that they're only words to you, and just
My legs
words are
look
not enough. But if you give it time and son, I know you'll
All
understand.
camera.
'Cause I've been going crazy just
I wouldn't
thinking
say
of you. You must be so tired, spending all your time running through my mind. I guess that I'm addicted to all that you do. I could go to love, but don't say enough about me and you. Every minute, every hour, every day, 247 got a hold on me. There's no better way that I could ever say it. 247 got a hold on me. I'm telling time for you good every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me. that I could ever say it. 247 got a hold on me. I'm doing time for you good every day. 247 got a hold on me. Lock it up, lock it down, throw the key away. 247 got a hold on me. Every minute, every hour, every day. 247 got a hold on me.
That's right.
No matter where that I could ever say it. 247
Sight and sound of body heat. Latest slideshow animation. Pax Stereo. I gotta call Jada. We're behind on everything, y'all, because this corona's got us distracted. I got IMDb updates, Vic, and
Well, she's gonna have to do that remotely because she's probably being advised.
well, we can do some stuff remotely, but we still,
Right.
like I said, remember, it's, the less travel, less contact with people, right?
Right, and I'm
You
pretty
can operate logically. you know.
right, but you know how parenting is. You know, you got to go by them first. And I'm
Well,
pretty
people should not be out about doing unnecessary things.
Right.
People who have to go to work should travel
Right.
straight to work and home,
True.
avoiding unnecessary stops. But people aren't going to have to go to work and do those things. So,
Yeah.
But you got to be, like Vic said, you got to be logical. You've got to use common sense. All right. So let me see. Vic, everything was updated, you guys. So as I stumble through this stuff to get this ready, like I don't see.
But you got a hot topic. I've had people sit back and say he don't have to show me no graphics because his mouth is doing the work. See,
I keep hearing that from my lady friends.
Yeah, dude, that's all you got to do.
His mouth is doing
That's all you got.
his mouth
Doing
is
the
doing
work.
his work that his other parts can't do. That's right. Dive, he said. Dive.
Okay.
I don't have any claps today, ladies and gentlemen, because of the Windows update, so I'll just go. All right, a lot to talk about, you guys. Corona goes on and on. The president's lack of response. Let's talk about some of the things that's going around. First of all, Vic, Germany has come out with a nationwide ban of gatherings greater than 2 people.
Hey.
Nationwide,
Okay.
greater than 2 people in Germany. Now, when they say ban, for all of these things, one of the big issues that you're seeing evolve is the willingness of different governments to enforce. Okay, so enforcement is a big deal. So right now, especially here in the U.S., these bans are really
Soft.
soft. They're
soft.
encouraging.
They're soft bands, and you know this.
Yeah,
man.
they're on the honor system.
Right.
They're on the honor system bans.
Right.
Now, in other places, like from what I understand, in Italy, in parts of Italy, you get caught out,
4,000.
$4,000 fine.
Done.
Okay, $4,000 fine.
Done.
Okay, so whatever benefit you may get could be eaten up by the fine.
Man.
Now, other places, no fine. The inconsistency is amazing and startling, and part of the issue you have nationally, because when you have states that have policies that are stringent right next to states that have no policies, it calls for a public health nightmare. Now, tests are starting to roll out, and I was just hearing today, I was watching the Governor Cuomo in New York talking about what they had rolling out, because in the U.S. right now, New York is the epicenter.
Right.
Now, when I say that, let me explain to you. That means they have the most positives.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
that may change once they do more testing.
Right.
Other places may have more positives once they have more tests. In New York, they've asked people to come out of retirement, doctors, nurses, to come out of retirement to prepare. One of the things that the governor today did, which has impressed me about a bunch of the governors so far, they are giving the most down-to-earth, realistic press conferences, Vic.
Oh, yeah.
Talking everyday language. The governor of Illinois, who blasted Trump, speaking to folks in everyday language that they can understand. I watched Cuomo this morning from New York, and I was impressed. Again, some people under the stress of crisis perform. And these folks, there are public figures out there who are performing, who are getting out there and speaking to the people. In New York, they're doing a daily press conference, sometimes more than once a day.
Yeah.
And you're getting real information from them. So they said now, finally, they're starting to test, and they're getting up to like 12,000 people a day.
Well, hey.
You need 100,000 a day, but at least they've got 12.
How you feel about the Surgeon General's grim warning?
I did see something about that.
Yeah.
What? Tell me a little bit. Remind me.
He's in Jerome. Give it a big boss, Jerome. He says that Adams warned Monday that the coronavirus outbreak will worsen this week, saying that many Americans are not taking the crisis seriously.
Got a brother.
Part I know.
Yeah, it's two things. I mean, I remember I tell you, you have to keep that in mind. You actually are having real spread. You're having real spread of the virus. You're also having what may be a large number of asymptomatic carriers who aren't sick but are spreading the disease.
Right.
3, as you institute more testing, you are by definition going to get more positives. So the part that and I've warned you guys, I warned you that the data would get worse every day for weeks and possibly months. Okay, I'll say it again. The data is going to get worse and worse every day and possibly continue that way for months. So we're going to be impacted for months. As you start to get more of this data coming in, you guys are going to get blown away because it's doubling. Things are happening. Okay? So let me just tell you, Sound. So let's take that. Here we are at the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center, where it gives you the total number of confirmed cases. Now remember, I told you that when you look at this stuff, I trust no government's reporting.
Right.
We're the United States of America, and you can't trust us, right? You can't trust us. Who can you trust? Certainly, it's politicized in every country because they don't need their own people, they feel, to know the truth. U.S. is no different. They're all lying. Every country around the world is lying to their people. Okay? Including the United States of America. Ashamedly.
Right.
So the total cases confirmed, that number doesn't really mean a whole lot to me because then you don't know, you don't believe what they're saying,
right,
and you don't know about the testing. And even where there are tests, you're not even sure of the reliability of those tests.
Right.
Okay? So here's what we're getting. So this is what Johns Hopkins. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, you could Google it. There's a number of ongoing readouts. This is the Johns Hopkins University Coronavirus Resource Center. But, you know, you've got to go take a look. I think that you can't trust. That is the problem. The biggest problem right now is credibility. What I can tell you guys is what I'm doing. I'm using the best of my information I can find, and I'm interpreting that using my skills, which, again, I served as faculty at LAC, USC School of Medicine for pediatrics. I ran ventilators for babies. I continue to do so as part of Kaiser's quintuplet team, 30-year pediatric hospitalist, critical care, emergency. And I can run vents for adults. Candace, who's in the chat room, I see you, Candace. Good morning, Candace Renee Rice, our lovely associate. You know, she asked me, Mario, what if they call you? Well, it depends who calls. See, I even told Kaiser, they would do these emergency drills when I was at Kaiser, and when we would have these meetings on the emergency drills, I would say during the meetings, I'm not coming out here in the event of emergency. I said I will go down on Crenshaw,
Where it's most needed.
right, where it's most needed.
Right.
I will set up my own self-stand, and I'll put up a little Kaiser sign if you guys like.
Right.
And you know, they would laugh and joke, and no one said shit. And I said, hee, 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 hee. They said, hee, hee, hee. And I said, I'm not coming out here if there's an emergency. For real, I'm not coming. And I'm not coming. Now, but if they need help to care for people, and I can agree with the setup of the system, then I will go serve. For sure I would. You know, the thing about ventilators, you guys, okay, ventilators, see, this is why you learn your ABCs. When you learn your ABCs, like pilots flying planes and all that, when you learn your ABCs, a lot of times those systems don't change. Ventilators involving, you know, rate of breathing, volume of breaths, pressure that volume generates within your chest, those things are standards. So me learning to run today's new ventilators is like me learning to run a new phone. You know, I can get on it and get prepped in an hour or two, maybe. I tell you the truth, the reality is they could probably give me an hour prep and put me to work. Or no prep and just put me with a trained respiratory therapist who we could talk the same language. Because I know what I want. I know how I want the patient to breathe. Now that me and the therapist got to get that machine tuned up so that the patient is breathing in that way. So I know what to do. So who knows? If I get called upon to return, and the system is fair and equitable to me, so that it's providing care throughout the community, I will go. And I'm prepared to run ventilators for adults. So running, like I said, running a ventilator, you could adjust. You could get some pointers on the job, okay?
Right.
You could, if you used to run a ventilator. I'm from the county, so we used to work, okay? We used to work, and if I have to, I know how to work and not sleep. So, Dickens stands out there. Now, so the situation is evolving. The issue right now is that the ability for hospitals to adapt to the flow, that's starting to have a crunch. In New York, they're having lines outside the hospitals now. Mm-hmm. Not here in L.A., but in New York, they have lines.
Yep.
Now, to me, remember, a lot of the people in line are people who are sick who don't need to come to the hospital. People, once again, they don't like what I say, but let me give you the reality. If you call me and say, Mario, I'm feeling sick. I got 101 fever, cough. I'm going to say, how are you breathing? Well, I'm breathing good. It's a cough and it's congested, but I'm breathing okay.
Right.
I say, are you able to eat and drink? He said, yeah, I'm able to eat some, and I'm drinking plenty of liquids. Yeah. Don't go to the hospital. Assume you have corona.
Right.
Quarantine. See, you don't need people who are tolerating the virus to clog the hospital system. They're going to have to triage you and send you home. You're not even amongst the people who should get tested. They need to test the hospital workers first. So, and then hopefully some of the hospital workers have already had it and gotten over it.
Yes.
Because then they could just work.
Right.
You could just work.
That's
you say
good.
you had it and then weren't that sick, and you test, see, because so they have to not only give the vaccine, they have to test the hospital workers for antibodies to the virus. Once they see you have antibodies to the virus, then they know you have been exposed, you're making antibodies, you feel okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you can work. In fact, they got some overtime for you. Okay? So, if you're having those mild symptoms, don't go to the hospital. And you say, well, Mario, I was exposed to corona. Assume you have corona. If you're not really sick, do not clog the hospital system, just so they can triage you and send you home. And when you hear this compassionate use of chloroquine and Zithromax, that stuff does not work. Okay, the president made it a political issue and they caved.
Yeah, I know.
So it doesn't really work. So when they say compassionate care, when they say you might as well just try any old thing, even stuff that doesn't work. But it won't work. It didn't even, those of us who experienced, it didn't even sound like it was going to work in the first place.
Nope.
It didn't even sound likely. Okay, and I was like, that ain't going to work. And it doesn't work.
Let me ask you something. This is interesting. Should the general public know who's infected, if they're celebrities or otherwise? On one, the privacy, but on two, the people who may have been in proximity don't know, and they can't leave it up to the patients to advise everybody. Should they keep privacy about people who have it? Because I noticed with the Lakers.
You mean based on the investigation, like
other
when you test positive,
right,
and the investigators come out to you,
right, and
there's legal things that allow them
right.
to override your own personal privacy, but they're supposed to treat your information as privileged, like private information.
Which,
according to HIPAA, they're not supposed to tell everybody your stuff.
Right.
So, on the other hand, this is already out there for venereal disease.
Right.
They get to go to the people and say, you've been exposed.
Right.
This is out there for venereal disease.
Right.
So, and I can't even remember what it last was, but as far as I remember, that when they go out to people for venereal disease, they get to tell them who they were exposed to.
So they
get to say, you were exposed to XYZ, and we need to test your Johnson.
Would you say, if I'm not saying anything about I'm just doing a hypothetical, and some ballers, just because hey, I grew up, they came up, they're in the NBA, NFL, whatever, and they happen to just be one or two chilling at your house, and all of a sudden they have tested positive, but they only say a couple of players on the team, but they're not releasing their names, and you are sitting there going, I wonder if. Do you feel you want to know, or you're just going to go, well, it won't make any difference. It's just the way it is.
Well, it's both. I want to know, but it doesn't make any difference.
Right, that's what I was getting at.
It doesn't make any difference. People have to assume, you're positive until you test. Let's assume, in other words, the basic way is this. Once you're exposed, and it's a significant exposure, you self-quarantine and wait for symptoms.
Right.
Now, if in 3 to 5 days you have no symptoms, you may liberalize your behavior to a tiny degree.
Right.
But remember, the incubation for the virus is 2 weeks. That's because we know a bunch of viruses are 2 weeks, and chickenpox is notoriously 21 days.
Right.
So, again, if it's a significant exposure, you need to wait throughout the whole at least 2 week period. Now, most of the people are not going to quarantine you for 21 days.
Right.
Because usually you'd have to go with the experts. They think that you're going to test positive within that time.
Right.
But remember, you need to test the people and observe for symptoms.
Right.
Now, do you need to retest the people? In general, they think not for most things.
At this time.
But that could change. In other words, for most things, if you test negative, don't develop symptoms, they don't need to retest you. But because of asymptomatic spread of virus, who knows? You may want to do, if prudent, if the test was available, you might do a second test, okay? And you might do random sporadic tests just to see prevalence. Now, again, with healthcare workers, for a lot of things, they can do tests to determine that you've already developed antibodies to the virus.
Right.
And like I said, if you have certain antibodies, it tells them where your reaction is. What do I mean by that? Certain groups of antibodies come first. They come within a certain amount of days or whatever.
Right.
Then second, then a third wave.
Right.
So there's waves of antibodies. Depending upon which antibodies you have positive, they can sort of tell when you had it. And if that and then correlating when you had it with how you feel.
Right.
In other words, if you have tests, that means you had it 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And you're feeling good, you might as well go on. You know, if you're right, especially if they're going to say you're not shedding it.
Right.
You have antibodies against it.
Right.
You're the prime worker.
So if somebody goes like, you know what, hey, I was tested positive. I went past my incubation, and now I'm gonna go out and party like it's 2099.
You can still be a vector.
Right. So
you could go out there and let them sneeze on you and then go spread it to people.
It's still still no different.
Now Candace, right. Well, so Candace wants to know, Vic.
Right.
Candace Renee Rice is in the chat room.
Right.
She said if she tested positive, will we let her back in Pax Stereo?
Absolutely. With a black hat.
You would? No, hell no. We ain't let you back.
Checking.
That's right. Oh.
And a pole. No.
We need to do some rectal swabs.
No.
I'm just saying, I need some real samples to let you back.
Let me say this. Remember what I said to you last week, Mario? I said I'm practicing like I'm asymptomatic, right? See, I'm going. Wonder if I just told you I feel that way.
You feel asymptomatic?
If I feel my brain,
that's the way the president feels.
That's right.
I would say I don't. See, this is where you have to, as a doctor, say. See, part of you is going yes,
right,
but the other part inside you really going, I don't give a shit.
Right. See,
that's what you're really thinking.
Right.
You're thinking, you idiot, I don't give a shit. But it comes out like this. Well, that's probably not the most prudent way to
do. Right. But Candace is looking right now that she believes. Candace,
we're going to lock your ass out.
No.
We're going to lock her at the gate.
Wait a minute.
I need to get some swabs.
First of all.
In fact, I might not let you back now.
Wait a minute. First of all, Candace, if you tested positive, or are you saying you believe you have it with Mario let you in the front door? That's the difference, because if you test positive, you ain't coming here, right? But if she believes she has it,
go to your local center and don't get tested, because they're going to send you home.
He's not.
They don't have no tests, especially for people with your degree of symptoms.
Listen, he let you in the front door if you believe you have it. Remember, believe is no different than him saying you got a cough and you think you have it. He's going to let you in the front door.
I'm not letting her in. I'm not letting her in.
Watch.
I'm not letting her in, I'm telling you.
All right.
Don't come over here. Little skinny bit.
Man, apologize.
I'm sorry. One thing good about Candace is that she does pull her weight when she's over at the studio at the compound. Only she eats a lot though.
She got your back. She got your back.
She's how thin Candace is.
She got your back, man.
But she be eating, boy. She throws down. I'm like, God dang.
And she got your back, right?
I'm telling her. I don't know. We might have to get you tested, Candace. Stay out there. Stay home.
What? Okay, so you gonna say the same thing to Marvin? You gonna go,
Marvin? I don't know, Marvin. How you feeling, Marvin?
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
We're gonna let some people back. We just have to see about some tests. I got to see if I can get some kits in here.
All right.
Might have to get that rectal swab. Anyway, and unrelated and related things. Restaurants are dealing with the glut of food, man. Restaurant suppliers.
Yeah, they
have a glut of food they bought.
Because
suppliers have a glut. There's a lobster glut, you guys. As it turns out, we export a bunch of our lobsters to Asia. And without the flights, we have a lobster glut. Now, I've been trying to call around seeing if there's some lobster deals. It doesn't seem to have trickled down as of yet.
Well, if
I want to buy some cheap lobsters.
This is going to be interesting because the immediate impact is the inventory rush that everybody did, but then the mechanisms for distribution, delivery, and everything gets backed up if everybody's socially distancing and more leery about coming out. Not everybody's going to use delivery services. They're going to be backed up. So, and just don't let China go, well, we're slowing down our exports coming over to the U.S.
I know. The U.S. slowed down their exports.
Yes.
Nothing's going anywhere.
Right.
So here we go. All right. In terms of bailout, you guys, it turns out one of the reports I heard, I'm still trying to find the article, but that supposedly Bernie Sanders was recommending $2,000 a month to workers until this is over. Mm-hmm. You're going to need some real money.
Yeah.
It's like the Depression. I know people who, when I told them about their $1,000 check one time, we're like, well, that won't help me even pay my rent.
Right.
Or it will help me, but it won't pay the whole rent. So people need ongoing assistance. We need to have something monthly so they can pay bills, okay? Because, so I don't know what they're going to do. Bernie Sanders, again, let me see if I can, Sanders, let me search that, you guys. Bernie Sanders, $2,000 a month. Per month, can't even write anymore. PR. So Bernie Sanders. Okay, yeah, here it is. See, okay, so supposedly, here it is. Take a look, you guys. See, I'm following stuff like you. So Bernie Sanders, does this sound more like help to you? Bernie Sanders doesn't talk about a $1,000 check, which is probably already spent. Bernie Sanders is saying that every American household should get $2,000 a month until the epidemic ends. What do you guys think about that?
You mean while the latest $1 trillion agreement between both parties is still in the stall lane? That money is not part of the trickling down, right? In other words, the consideration is that that's not going to be part of what they're trying to get passed right now. So this is separate and distinct. Now, Bernie can say that because look where he is at. So how much weight are they going to give Bernie Sanders on that? It'll be different if somebody else said it, but you and I both know the percentage of them carrying on what he's suggesting is about what? 1%?
I don't believe they're going to send you much of anything.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't believe. The U.S. should be, instead of talking about government bailing out businesses, they should bail out people.
Yeah.
Once again, you're going to get to see welfare for the rich. Watch all these Republicans who don't believe in, socialism line up to get their socialism.
Right.
See, they believe in socialism when it's them.
Right.
So they want to bail out these companies. I say let the companies have the ability to borrow. The companies have the ability to do what you can't. The companies have the ability to borrow money on their profit margins, to leverage what they have.
Can you imagine if the candidates was thinking clearly and they knew that this was coming, because they knew this was on the table about this coronavirus last year, and had taken a position about the money that should be given to America, how much they will be impacting their candidacy at this time, because you only hear Bernie, right? So the timing of this, imagine if you was taking that as your thing. I know Yang did it, but at that time the corona thing didn't hit everybody.
Right, that was just as an economic stimulus.
So if you were carrying it right now, you don't hear anyone else saying it. So think about it. If they were wise enough, that platform would have carried probably a landslide for Joe Biden.
Well, Joe Biden's again slow. So I suggest no income tax. I suggest $2,000 a month is a place to start. I suggest no bailout of any company.
Oh, yeah.
And any company they even consider comes under taxpayer ownership.
Right.
If you loan them any money, you own them.
Yeah.
Ask American Airlines employees. Audrey Parrish talked to me about what happened the last time we bailed out the airlines, how their employees got nothing.
Right.
How they went from like 3 weeks of vacation to 2, that their pay dropped by 20-some%. They gave bonuses to all the execs.
It'll be no different than the bailout in 2008, where there just was no restrictions, no regulations on it. It wasn't going to trickle down. It just lined the pockets of the big corporations, and now we're here again. And they're going to be pushed to shove. And you know this, that their ear is on let me just say this: there's going to be acceptable losses, and they're going to try to hold on to their pocket change. I hate to call it that, but they're going to take acceptable losses.
Now's the time to really start to do something and grill these people. Oh, so Lou Dobbs is unproven whether he has it, but his staffers are positive.
Right.
Well, karma. My spiritual being doesn't allow me to really wish terrible things. I try not to do that. But I can certainly wish that you are affected. And I'm certainly hoping that the president and all his people, the Senate and the Congress, I want them to be affected.
Well, Amy Klobuchar's husband is affected.
He's in the hospital.
Yes, he is.
So I want you all affected. That doesn't mean I'm wishing people illness. I'm saying you should be affected so that it can affect your sensitivity. So you can get the sense of urgency that I'm feeling for my friends who are now losing their jobs.
Yep.
Who have a sense of urgency. They have a sense of urgency. They don't know where their next meal is coming.
Yeah.
So, today they're voting. Mitch McConnell was out there talking about it early this morning. They're already talking about it. So let's see what they do today. But Pax Stereo will continue to come to you daily, almost, as much as we can, as much as necessary, to advise you on the evolving crisis. Peace. And so it is. And so it is. Pax Stereo, we're blessed again to get this notice that one of the songs from our catalog is trending once again on Reverb Nation, Vic.
Oh, cool.
Trending once again is Maybe Today by the Hemsley Foster Project. It is the favorite of my songs that I ever wrote. It is the one that I always say I bled into it.
Right.
So we'll be right back with Marijuana for Dummies.
Playing from Mario S. iPad.
Right after this song.
Be right back, you guys. You want to get a refresher.
Maybe today. Maybe today is the day. Maybe today I walk away from all the fears that have kept me locked away for years.
maybe today. My favorite of the songs I wrote. You get it for free. All right. Y'all ready to talk about some weed?
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
All right, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Marijuana for Dummies. Let's start the show with just a bit of weed porn. Yeah, oh. I want you to see something. Look at this bud. Look at this nut. What you see? A bit of the California wonderful weed porn as we get a look. I know, I'm sorry for those of you in those restricted states, but you know, that's what you get for supporting those Republicans.
I've actually saw, some reading where some businesses are flourishing in this environment.
Well,
They're
yeah,
flourishing.
black market weed is growing. See, there was always the issue with the legalization of marijuana that it drove the prices of marijuana up, so that the people who have been smoking weed, so many of them were forced to now spend higher. At first, the having medical marijuana caused the price of weed to drop. And then once they started legalizing recreational marijuana and adding all those taxes, which has sometimes boosted the price by a third,
Right.
a quarter to a third,
Right.
it was ridiculous. So now you have a point, which I had alluded to previously, that the black market growth and sale of marijuana would be the savior of the marijuana industry. In other words, where marijuana is legalized, you can grow. That means you can grow marijuana and sell it on the black market to help pay your rent. That could be part of your bailout, is to sell marijuana. Grow marijuana, sell marijuana, and actually be a provider to the community in a way that they can get to the marijuana for cheaper. Now, of course, I could tell you the authorities are going to say, well, this marijuana is unregulated. It's not safe. Well, you haven't made it any safer. Okay? All right? In fact, if historically, whenever marijuana was unsafe, it was the government who was making it unsafe by poisoning it. So please don't give me your it's unsafe bullshit till you go back and air your dirty laundry. Okay, because it's usually safe until you mess with it. It's a weed. It grows in the ground. You pull it up and dry it. Okay? You don't need any preservatives, anything, and you don't need insecticides. It's a weed.
It makes me think about the opioid crisis. Is that all of a sudden taking a deep, deep backseat? Because it was strongly a big scourge that was really kind of the top of the story. Now you don't hear anything about it.
Because you're in the middle of a crisis. The opioid crisis, which actually caused the largest infusion of money into the healthcare system in quite some time, as everyone was gearing up. The hiring out there for healthcare services related to addiction medicine, it was a boom. It still is a boom. It's an area in which they're hiring. But again, prioritizing, right?
Yeah.
The first thing you're finding out now, Vic, is how all of the stuff we're doing causes you to have an increased need for universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that we're recognizing the problems that people are dealing with in terms of mental health. One of the drugs that I think would be most effective, okay, people are either going to drink or do something at the house. Now, of course, we know one of the things they're going to do is going to lead to a baby boom. So we can expect a rash of baby deliveries 9 months from now.
Right.
So that's what's going to happen because they're going to have sex. But they're also going to drink more. Marijuana is I'm convinced, I'm sure it's a better drug. Marijuana is a good drug to treat PTSD. Marijuana relieves stress and anxiety. The reason that I particularly smoke weed, and you can ask the people around me, is because I love the calm that it gives me. Studying medicine, may be a hyper type person, and whereas I know I could do yoga and more exercise and all those things too, marijuana offers me that relief. It's like turning down a gas stove from high flame to that low simmering flame. I don't get euphoric. I haven't had euphoria from marijuana probably in 30 years. Maybe at least 20 for sure, but probably more like 30. People don't see me ever euphoric. I don't even think my personality changes that much. I get a more mellow, which is the effect that I want. So marijuana is a better drug for you right now as you're forced to stay at home.
And the governor agrees with you because he actually said he classifies the cannabis industry as essential during the coronavirus. That this boom.
The governor did that, Vic?
Yes, I already said it was on what?
That's why
day
it's
before yesterday.
My buddy will tell you.
Day before yesterday, he was going. It's essential during the state's effective lockdown. So see what? Now all of a sudden, he's probably going like this. I need some weed.
The governor, we got a lot of governors smoking some weed.
He's getting hit with a lot of stuff to push forward. And when you got 40 million people, and you need to give them a place to go mentally. He's already on the ship that says the businesses are booming. That's why I said under the corona environment, people are stockpiling weed.
I stockpile weed. I got a hash collection.
Right.
I got a collection of hash. I don't really like hash that much, and the stuff they have today that they're calling hash is not even that hash of old, but they have all these extracts. Okay, these things that they call dabs. I got a bunch of that. I got a bunch of extracts, a bunch of hash. That stuff lasts forever.
Right.
So it's in there. I have a whole collection of that. But I went out and stocked up on weed.
If right now, if you were the captain of the police department under this time, and one of your workers went out and said, I got somebody in, I caught him smoking weed on the corner, would you look at him as, what the you doing? Or why are you doing this? Or would you say, good job? That's more important right now.
Well, you need not to be smoking out on the street.
But remember now, listen to what I'm saying now. We already know this, listen, I see it all the time where people are smoking and police are just driving by. They're just driving by.
Because they don't want to be bothered.
Right. So.
Right now they don't want to get corona.
Right. So imagine someone says, oh, what you got there, Frank?
I got some weed.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I get some? No, you can't smoke now because you don't want to contact that virus.
Right.
Do not hit the weed. Do not hit someone else's joint.
And here's the other question. Do a multitude of rain, keep people more indoors and socially distant? And that's a good thing. I mean, profuse rain.
Well, maybe. We'll see. Washington State is the other place that's got a lot right now, and they get a bunch of rain. Seattle, one of the rainier places.
Yes, it is
one of the places that's on big lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you remember their blow up was from that location, that one location, which was to the point you had made earlier. The medical health care of the seniors was just atrocious. So it was a petri dish. All those numbers came from that one location that the firefighters went in, and then they got it.
And again, I have no reason to suggest that same situations don't exist all over the United States.
Absolutely.
So that we expect it. So the weed is a part of the issue. Right now, we would suggest that you stock up on marijuana also. If you're in a place that has it, stock up. Right now, as far as I know, it's again a situation where the demand is high. But here in LA, there's plenty of weed.
Yeah.
Okay, in fact, immediately prior to this, the marijuana cafes were starting to thrive. They had just gotten going. I assume that they've been affected severely like the other businesses.
Yes, they have.
And the marijuana cafes are shutting down.
Yeah. It's hard to try to set up a delivery system that, if you haven't prepared for it, it's hard to just implement it right off the way.
All right, so go out there, get some weed, stock it up on it. Don't pass or share joints. Terrible practice right now, and probably a practice that needs to end effectively. It's really going to see. These are the things that are affecting our youth. We're used to smoking a joint and passing it to a friend. You got to stop that. And even if they use your pipe, got to clean off the tip. You got to do all that, maybe with a little alcohol pad, that kind of a thing. But let's apply the same safety standards to our use and our sharing or not sharing of marijuana.
What about alcohol?
Don't drink.
Don't pass the bottle?
You don't pass the bottle. There's a bunch of stuff. No snowballs.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna look that up.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yes.
Times are a-changing, but some things stay the same. You start each morning with a cup of coffee every day. Maybe hit the snooze, turn on the local news, but nothing good comes from a one-sided point of view. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info, stay for the reefer. Marijuana for dummies. Come for the info and stay for the reefer.
We'll be right back with Victor Allen's new sports and hot picks. Thank you for tuning in to Morning Coffee.
When you walked away, it was the saddest day that the world has known. Shattered my heart and left me with pieces of a broken home. Now you say you need me, standing at the door, asking if you can come in, and I can't say no, no, I can't say no. You and I just can't say goodbye. Every time we do, well, it's just another lie. I know you're no good for me, but every time I'm with you, there's nowhere I'd rather be. We've been to hell, been burned by the flames of a pain so deep that even the strongest God in the heavens would kneel and weep. But here I lie, pressed against your skin, right where I wanna be. You're the sweetest sin. You time we do, well, it's just another lie. I know you're no good for me, but every time I'm with you, there's nowhere I'd rather be.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Time for Victor Allen's New Sports. Written and directed by the bald-headed black man, bringing you his unique fan-based view of sports. And here he comes. Remember we told you, even though there's none, just like there's some,
Right, there ain't none, man.
jock straps and sports bras. Yeah!
Right, no claps.
No claps
No
today.
nothing, no fan base. That's all right, bro. That's all right. You know, it's the trip because when I'm watching the sports, man, you know, on cable and everything else, the only topic they're talking about is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, man. I mean, it's like the only lead subject. And the other part that I like what they're going through, since they're doing everybody remote from home, they're running it almost every. We have some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
They're running that tougher.
They're
that's
dealing
it.
with what we did do.
It is so hard because they have to. The other side has to be equipped, and so you find out how hard it is to do that.
That's right.
It's interesting.
Not surprised.
All right, now, Mark, this is just one of those things where they say, you and I know this. They're gonna put out a whole bunch of looking back sports, everything. Right now they got the best college basketball player, men against the women, the whole thing. A few months from now, what else are they gonna have? Well, I'm in the same boat. I can't really talk about sports, so I got to go and look back. So it doesn't matter how far back I go because who's going to give a damn in the first place? So if we had to look at something that we think some people would chime into, you and I are going to determine that by evaluating a couple of subject topics I have here and see how you feel about them back in the day. And would you vote, bring that back? Let's see the reruns. You ready for this, man?
I'm ready, man. My robe is open.
You're right. You're crazy, man. So I want to start off with what they call vintage looking back. We're going to do three things here, man. We're going to cover three little short topics. And the first one is vintage looking back. After that, we're going to hit unusual sports interests and then dare you dare to try. So we're going to go with the first one because I knew you grew up back in the days.
Yay!
Your pappy probably had you sit down and watch this.
Pappy.
Your pappy.
Your
Hey, I'm
pappy.
going back, man. Roller derby.
Man, I like-
competitive roller
Yeah,
derby
dude.
the rink.
Let's add some claps, man. I like, roller derby was kind of fun.
And
Big John,
and-
remember Big John or whatever his name was?
Yeah. Did you watch the men more or the women more?
I actually think I watched the women a little more, but I watched both. Roller derby for a while was one of those phenoms when we were coming up.
Yeah. Now, being that we're not going to get any sports, do you want to see some rebroadcasts of the roller derby?
Like the old days?
Yeah, the old days.
Like the challenge match?
If-
I challenge you.
Right.
In fact, I challenge you, Vic,
Right.
to a roller down the driveway.
Right. So what you're going to do is this. I already got you on this one. But there's another one looking back. So I'm going to go to number 2.
Okay.
Because I forgot about it. There is this vintage women's wrestling. Yeah. Now, it was called no movement wrestling. So I'm just saying.
This is it, huh?
This is it. So I just want you to understand.
Man, she's not like barely wrestling. This is like sex today. That's me standing on my head and they don't move.
So let me. You forgot about that the women did. It was so under the radar.
It was.
Man.
I think Candace Renee Rice would be a wonderful
Man,
wrestler.
I know you're doing. I know what you're doing right
She
now.
could be wrestling, and Candace, I challenge you to a match.
Okay, all right.
If I can pin you.
All right. Now we got to go to a third one. The third one, I want to go. It's called "The Ref Is Done," and what I'm gonna do with this one is let you know that you forgot about this type of wrestling. So
Wrestling's a bunch of little people wrestling.
So
This is little people wrestling.
Nick kicking his ass, aren't they? Okay. And remember, the refs used to get really into it, man. Remember? This is the old days. Even before WWE and the whole thing, the refs were part of it, period. So they were doing
They ain't beating the ref up.
This is a gangbang, man.
I don't know if that big because I don't. It gets kind of sticky and that would be unsafe.
I'm just saying. So
Vic said it was a gangbang.
just saying, dude. Now let me just say this. Those are your 3 choices for vintage looking back. You have to tell me what's number 1 and number 2 that you would like to see.
My number 1, of course, Vic, I have to tell you, is going to be roller derby.
Roller derby is not your number 1.
I think that's, man, vintage,
Yes.
rink, competitive roller derby.
So if they brought some reruns, you check that out, right?
I would do that, Vic.
Okay, because you know they used to do that. They used to hold it down at the Shrine.
This was Olympic.
The Olympic
Auditorium.
Yes, the Olympic.
Downtown. I don't even know if that's still there, though.
No, it's the building, but its functionality, no. So who's your number 2?
My number 2 is the women's wrestling because this once again reminds me of how I have sex today.
Okay, I'm stopped.
Standing on my head while they don't move.
Let me say, my number 1 is the roller derby. My number 2 is the ref is done. I like when they all just jump on somebody and just beat them down.
You like the gang?
Oh man, I just like when they just get.
Sounds like a personal issue to me, Vic.
Man, that's it.
But I understand.
That's it. So that was the easy one because that's vintage looking back. I had to do that one because for me, it's coming. Now we're gonna go to what we call sport or no sport. And Mar, you're gonna have to pick what they call extreme sports. And these are sports. Now how you look at it is up to you. We're gonna go through a quick group.
And Vic, these extreme sports, they are sports that maybe folks such as I,
Right.
who's a masterful physical specimen, even at the ripe age of 63.
Right.
I will be able to perform these sports.
That's right.
Okay, Vic.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. First one up.
Girding my loins.
Extreme ironing.
I can do that.
You could do that.
Man.
This has been going on for 23 years, man.
Extreme. How did I miss extreme ironing?
I have no idea.
Candice,
How'd you miss
it's
this?
another one for you.
Okay, so I'm literally tripping that this is a real sport.
Extreme ironing.
Right, now, just so you know, you have to pay attention, man, because
I will,
you're going to pick the one you could do out of the 3 or 4 that's here.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Underwater hockey.
Do I have to wear a suit like that, Vic?
Listen, man. If that's
That looks a little tight on the cheeks.
if it's
a little tight.
and let me tell you something else. When you go see a video of this, a video, what they do is they battle and they go up and catch a breath. I mean, it's real fast. They come out of the water, catch a quick breath, and they come right back down. And the team that can actually stay on the bottom the longest tends to have the advantage. So their issues are, man, their issues is how
Hard
fast
to stay
they
on the bottom.
Wait,
Saying it's hard.
it's hard to say on the bottom, man.
It's hard. Some of y'all know.
Okay, so that's number 2. Now, here's the one I think that Mario, I think you'll be good at, because you're gonna pick your number 1. This is a sport. It's called wife carrying.
Yeah, because that'll be light for me.
Okay, but
Be like 0 pounds.
But look what happens though. see, she's face backwards with her face. So when he falls, she falls face into the mud.
That's appropriate, Vic.
Okay, now wait a minute. Now wait a
I
minute.
find that is upsetting, but I can live with it.
That's wife carrying. You guys think I'm joking? This is real. I may be laughing a little bit. I didn't know they
I
did
think
this.
PMC is another person who might volunteer for this, considering his recent status.
Okay, I got one even better. If they do wife and ex-wife, wife
Oh,
carrying.
there you go. Ex-wife carrying.
Right.
There'll be a lot of accidents on that one.
Right. So here you are, Mar. This is your 3, which your number 1 extreme sport that you would attempt to do.
Well, I think I would like to do the extreme ironing, Vic.
And what? So mountain or on the water?
Both, Vic. Well, I would just let it roll, Vic. I'd do it on the mountainside, on the water.
Right.
I would gird my loins in an iron jock
Wait a minute.
and then take to the stars.
Mar, first of all, I'm gonna be real. You're not getting on no damn mountain. We already know that.
You just have to fly me up there, Vic.
You okay?
They now have
you have
wonderful pulley systems.
You have to carry the ironing board with
You
you.
didn't say that.
That dude,
You didn't say that. Why you changing the rules?
I'm not changing the
You
rules.
just said extreme ironing.
Hey, listen.
You didn't say shit about carrying the iron up there.
All right.
And they didn't say nothing about the size of the ironing board. I actually had one of those little ironing boards.
Right.
I could strap to my back.
Okay.
And a little battery powered iron.
Right.
You know, so I can wash my little dainties.
I would probably. Oh man, that underwater hockey. I can probably get away with that. I can get away with that. Okay. Going to the next group. This is the next group. Like I said, this is the sports I'm covering. Do you dare to try? Now, this is the situation, Mario, because I've done this with you before. I've always said, pretend like you're a prisoner of war and your wife is like in a position where they say, you have to tell us the secrets or your wife, we're going to get her. Now I amped it up.
No, I'm a single man.
Wait,
That's not
no, I got it.
May have to
I
go.
said, now I'm going.
Gotta
it's
go.
your mama. So you got to
Oh,
pick.
now you gonna put my mama.
So we gonna
First-
put. We gonna put. We gonna
First
put.
you said wife.
Right now we going mama.
I want to go back to wife.
No,
'cause,
bro,
you know,
it's too easy because I know what you would do.
I'm just saying the wife's got to sacrifice.
So here's what we're picking. You got these most dangerous sports, or what they call challenging sports. You're going to look at a group of them, and which one you would go, this one I could do. If I had to help my mama out, this is what I'm going to do.
I'm not doing this one.
You better look at the other four before you say that, man. So let's do the first one. The first one is street luge. Now watch. Now watch.
Oh, luge. Oh.
You can tell us in Europe, a different side of the street. They're going to he's waving at the truck. That's street luge. Now, you said you ain't doing this one, right?
Hell no.
Okay. You sure you want to say that first? You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's go to the second one. Second one, wingsuit flying.
No, I'm not doing that one either.
Okay. So, okay.
Candace,
So,
this looks like another winner for you.
and that's a she, flying over a volcano.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
Why not?
So you do know you eliminated two already. You only leave two.
These are the kind of sports you choose for your ex.
Okay. All right. So just letting you know, man, your odds are not too good right now. You ready to go to the next one?
I'm ready, Vic.
Let's go to the next one. All right. Big wave surfing. So you just got to think, bro. How about you? Okay. So here you got two.
Yeah, I ain't doing that one.
Okay.
either.
Well, you only got one left then, right?
That's it.
Okay. So you sure? Wait. Don't move up. You sure you don't want to put one in the hole just in case? Because you're left. This is the one you have to do when you eliminated three, so you got to pick one.
No, I'm not going.
Okay.
I'm going to send a female in my place. Once again, perhaps Candace.
Okay. Here's the one. Big bull riding.
Watch my visual aid.
Big bull riding.
I know a big bull.
Okay. So I want you to understand. Now you know
That's what they called us.
he got hit just by getting stepped on a hoof.
Oh, yeah, he got it.
So Mario, you said
Oh.
you got to pick one. You got to save mama. Which one you gonna do, man?
I'm going to do, you can't do riding no bulls.
I'm telling you the one I would pick.
Can't ride any bulls.
I know which one I would pick. No, you can't. No.
Where are we going?
You start with the luge.
All right, where is it?
That's right.
Luge,
Yeah.
wingsuit,
Wingsuit
big wave surfing.
or the bull.
Yeah, I'm going to do the big wave surfing.
You would do the same. You would do
I
big,
just hold on to the board.
the big wave surfing.
And I wouldn't go far. I missed the wave.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, you're gonna have a lot of people on your team clapping for you, man, because they're going, oh, he's going for the big wave. Because then you would get a lot of people going, oh man, that's my boy. He's going for it. I'll probably go for luge. I'd probably just do
This sounds like something else.
That sounds like something else. All right, here it is. Okay, that's really primarily the sports. That's my way of looking back. But I always say there's a new type of sport where the refs may interest you in watching the activity, wrestling. What is that ref doing?
Well, that's kind of weird. Planking.
Okay. So, wait a minute. Would you watch if the refs had to judge the wrestling matches by actually watching it the way this ref is delivering what they call get your horizontal on and you can't stand up. One has to be on
That's
the floor
crazy.
and one has to be
But
up.
I'm also amazed at how all of these references you have today remind me of me having sex.
All right, man. Listen.
That's what it kind of looks like.
And just so you guys notice, Mark, this guy, this is real. I'm not going to get into the whole story.
This is real?
This is real. This
is
really
not a
happened.
doctored video.
No. That's him getting close. He's looking underneath so he could see the score, how they were scored.
I like the sister doing the moonwalk.
Okay, so I'm just letting you know, these are the type of options in sports that we have today. I don't have too much else. I am not going to talk about Tom Brady. They don't even have TikTok videos. They have one video per week that they show. Oh, look at this. He's shooting baskets with his children. That's about it. That's all they are covering sports. There's nothing else in sports. So literally, I'm finding alternatives. I think I want to watch the wrestling with the refs on the floor. I would watch it all day long if he had to judge like that.
I wish I had some females, I don't know about all day long, in a little bit different outfit.
I'm going to keep that one on point. That's it. That's my abbreviated sports. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Done, man.
New sports.
Done.
All right. Pow! That's right, Victor Allen's New Sports, a recurring segment of the Morning Coffee with Mario show. You can find it every week at the top of the part 2. Join us, dress appropriately, sports bras and jock straps. Bring your own Locherman cream. Know that scratch and sniff is our policy. And you too can be an athlete. If only you would use the right underwear. Yeah.
Do that walk.
Yeah.
All right, man. We're coming to the home stretch right now, right?
And that's what they call it. We're going to stretch in the home.
Yeah, I like that.
Coming up next,
I like that. Hot pick.
Hot Pick.
Walked away, it was the saddest day that the world has known. Shattered my heart and left me with pieces of a broken home.
right, here we are in the home stretch, man. We're being socially distant, and we're about to wrap this son of a gun up. Mario did a great job on the marijuana for dummies. Like that, man. The industry is blowing up. Now it gives me motivation, even though I don't smoke. Okay. This one I like because it is now the age of the plus. So this particular subject, Mario's just you and I. We're gonna do the best we can to determine who are they and where do they rank. Female plus size entertainment trailblazers. Remember what I said before. Active, not going back. Active. And we're going to determine if we best can who you think is number one. I believe they're all winners. I think if you grew up with certain ones in the 90s, millennia, or even current. And so we're going to cover a field. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about their background because some people don't know, but most of these young ladies are not. But plus size is the game. You ready for this, man?
I'm ready. I got my robe.
No robe.
Clothes.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go on and do this and get it off the way. Number one, Ashley Graham, a model. American plus size model, television presenter. Graham is a proponent of body positivity and health at every size. She became the first size 16 model to be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Glamour described Graham's cover as bringing size acceptance into the mainstream. In 2010, Graham appeared in a controversial Lane Bryant TV commercial. She also walked for international designers like Prabal Gurung, Michael Kors, Love Mag, Dolce & Gabbana, H&M, Tommy Hilfiger, Rag & Bone, and Christian Siriano. If you don't know, I bet you've seen her, Mario. She is kind of not the first, but I guess you would call the one that's getting the most attention. There are some notable women who have been doing it for a while as well. Does the stats let you know that we're in a new age?
It does, Vic.
Are you thumbs
Not
up?
just the stats.
You know what?
Well, I have mixed reaction to it.
Why is that?
Well, I want everybody, of course, to be accepting of their natural body differences.
Right.
But we kind of swung the way where we're just that should not be just an encouragement for everybody just to gain weight and let everything go.
And true that these are. I didn't want to get all in. It's a whole different subject. And so I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it because you hit the point on the head. There is a health concern also that goes along with it. But in the meantime, this is their value to the industry. And then we're just going to pick the notable, the talent, and what they've been able to deliver. So, got Ashley. Let's go to the next one. Oh, got one, man. Got you. Let's go to the next one. One of Mario's favorite, Jill Scott, singer, model, poet, and actress.
Yes, my Jill.
All right. Okay. Scott is a soprano who infused jazz, opera, R&B, and spoken word, and hip-hop in a style sometimes called neo-soul. They refer to Scott's vocal ability, first soprano, and also draws on her upper register, recalling the artistry of the late songbird Minnie Riperton and Denise Williams. Denise, of course, not late. Scott was prominently featured on the hip-hop artist Lupe Fiasco's single Daydreaming, which won a 2008 Grammy for Best Urban Alternative Performance. And in 2007, featured on George Benson and Al Jarreau's collaboration, God Bless the Child, written by Billie Holiday, which earned Scott her second Grammy Award, Best Traditional R&B Vocal Performance. She came in immediately, a beautiful face, a beautiful singer, a beautiful body of work. Is she considered in your plus size trailblazers, Martin?
Yes.
Oh, no question, right?
No question.
Okay, man, you're making this easy. Let me go to the next. The next up. Ooh, Adele.
I don't know that.
Singer-songwriter. She has received a lot of awards, okay? And at this point, without even getting into all the accolades, because everybody knows, the ones I'm going to recognize are 6 Grammy Awards. It's tying, for a single season. And so she has the album 21, which earned her numerous mentions in the Guinness Book of World Records. She was the first female artist to simultaneously have 2 albums in the top 5 of the Billboard 200. 21, the album is the longest running #1 album by a female solo artist in the history of the United Kingdom and the U.S. album charts. Mario, Adele make an impact on you, man?
Oh, definitely, and I love it.
Okay. Is she considered a trailblazer, or you want to wait?
I don't know if she's a trailblazer. I think she's more following in the trail than other people that presented for her.
Okay.
But certainly carrying on a tradition. And the other thing, Vic, is how plus are you considering her to be?
Well, see, the hard part about this is that I don't have anything to gauge by it. I know that when you go look at what they're talking about, when they talk about it, they're being identified as plus. It's not me.
Because look at her here.
I know, but there's
other pictures of her where she looks bigger.
Yes.
But I mean,
yes.
And well, okay. Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, you can pick a point, and you got to be very careful because we're in the age of photoshopping, which is now taking on a kind of clapback when people do affect their photos. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you go look at all of her stuff, they consider her a plus size entertainer. So let's go to the next. It's one of Mario's favorites, we know. Melissa McCarthy, actress, comedian, writer, producer, fashion designer. Okay, McCarthy was named by Time as one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2016. It's been featured multiple times in annual rankings of the highest paid actress in the world. In 2015, she launched her own clothing line for plus-size women, named Melissa McCarthy 7, and she received a motion picture star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Does she become considered as a trailblazer?
Again, I don't know if she's a trailblazer. She continues in the role. You know, it's interesting, too, she lost weight.
Yes, she did.
Significant weight.
Absolutely, man.
To go from starring in Mike and Molly to then becoming now a screen actress.
Right.
Gold mine.
But when you go look at all of her work, most of her films, most of the content out there has her in a plus size.
Oh, yeah, she's a plus size.
Yeah, she's in a plus size.
I don't know trailblazer, but definitely again, a wonderful example of someone who's maintaining and leading, because she is really in the comedy sphere right now.
That you got it. Let's go to the next. Got a few more. All right. Ooh, hard to argue. Queen Latifah is described as a feminist rapper. Already received a Hollywood Walk of Fame, the star. Her work in music, film, and television has earned her Grammy Award, Emmy Award, Golden Globe Award, Screen Actor Guild Awards, 2 Image Awards, an Academy Award nomination. She became the first female hip-hop recording artist to get nominated for an Oscar. Queen was the first hip-hop artist to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Does she qualify as a trailblazer? Because she got some first in there, man.
She does have some firsts. I think more than some of the others even. Been around a longer time, for sure. And if we remember correctly, she came around at a time when the female rappers were getting a really hard time.
True.
And was able to do that. So, maybe.
And without the benefit of social media.
Right.
And
so I give her a maybe.
Okay. All right. It's good. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Tough for trailblazing because by definition you took the ones that are active now.
Have to.
And some of that is transition.
Yes. All right. Let's go to the next. This is more current for today. Her rise to stardom, Kelly Clarkson, is unbelievable. Singer, songwriter, actress, and TV personality. She rose to fame in 2002 on the first season of American Idol, which was garnered her a record deal with RCA Records. Her 5th studio album, Stronger, made Clarkson the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Album twice. She became the first American female artist to achieve the best-selling holiday album of the year. Her accolades include 3 Grammy Awards, 3 MTV Video Music Awards, 4 American Music Awards, and 2 Academy of Country Music Awards. Is she trailblazing?
Trailblazing.
Yeah, I know it's so hard, man.
No, again, she's a wonderful person continuing along the path that have been trailblazed for her.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense. Let's go to the next. Okay, there's a storm brewing. Singer, rapper, and flutist, Lizzo. American singer-songwriter, rapper, and flutist. Lizzo received 8 nominations for the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards, including the Album of the Year for the deluxe version of 'Cause I Love You, and a Song of the Year, and a Record of the Year for The Truth Hurts, as well as the Best New Artist. She eventually won the awards for Best Urban Contemporary Album, Best Pop Solo Performance, and Best Traditional R&B Performance for the song Jerome. And in 2019, Time named Lizzo as the Entertainer of the Year for the meteoric rise and contribution to music. Lizzo is also well known for her ability to play the flute, which I got to check out and said, whoa, she's serious. Mario, yet to be determined?
Of all the ones that you've done, she is actually, to me, a trailblazer.
Yes.
Because she takes it to another level.
Right.
Even though she continues on the path that's been brought to her,
right.
She then elevates and redefines the game.
Got
so
it.
I think, no, this is one. If I could give her a claps,
there you go. You got one.
I'd give her the claps.
You gave her one. All right. One more to go. Here we go. Yeah. People don't know. Missy Elliott, rapper, singer, songwriter, record producer, dancer, philanthropist. Missy Elliott's experimental concepts in her music video changed the landscape of what hip-hop video had as themes at the time. Her catalog of songs have included themes of feminism, gender equality, body positivity, and sex positivity since the beginning of her career, being one of the first to center on these topics among the hip-hop and R&B performers. She is the best-selling female rapper in Nielsen music history, according to Billboard in 2017. 2019, she became the first female rapper inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and received the MTV VMA's Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for her impact on the music video landscape. Also in 2019, Elliott received an honorary Doctor of Music degree from the Berklee College of Music. I remember seeing her videos and said, I have not seen a woman like this, period. And I was like blown away. Where does she rank for you, man?
She is a true trailblazer.
Yes, without
truly,
a doubt.
on a bunch of levels, standout artist, standout producer, standout performer. And this video
Wow.
looks like Hype Williams
Man.
did this, who's also a standout and a pioneer who worked with her. So give it up for her. I wish I had some claps.
Right, it's dude, man. She is in this age of visualization, she knocked it out. And
Out the park.
And you're talking about 2 decades ago, man. So I would say the 3 women that I'm considering right now, Lizzo, of course, Missy Elliott, what Queen has done without social media and having these
certainly worth the discussion. All the people
Right.
you pulled up, Vic, are certainly worth the discussion. They're great artists. They're great icons in their own right.
Yeah.
And and to me, Queen, just what she means in terms of womanhood, not just black womanhood,
Right.
but womanhood. So,
Right.
yeah, and she just comes off so classy.
Well, and understand this. She was battling an age, her and Queen, an age where the only thing that really accepted as stardom is if you look really sexy, big booty video,
Right.
sexy. So for her to do what she did, and you throw back social media at that time to catapult both of them, it would have been the game changer. So I look at them. Lizzo is still developing. She is really brand new in the last couple of years or so. But Missy, man, her concepts video is just crazy, man. But here we go. All of them are winners, man. That's it, man. I'm not trying to sit back and say nobody's a winner, but those are the 3 that stand out in my mind.
Hot picks, everybody. Hot picks.
Done. I got 1 clapper.
No claps today.
I got 1 clapper.
Shit's not working.
That's all. That's all we need.
Shit's not working.
Hey.
Windows updates.
Yeah.
Want to thank you all for tuning in today to Morning Coffee with Mario, even without the claps and with all the technical updates that we're dealing with. As we want to thank you for being here. We're all attempting to deal in an ongoing fashion with this confinement, and we here. I tell you, we're looking toward developing more programs, informing versus entertaining. We know you need some escapism, and we want to encourage you to do healthy activities, exercise. There are some good points, even though I'm not, they may not seem so good at first, but you've been meaning to clean out that closet, that garage, that yard. Mm-hmm. Every one of us has tasks to be done. That room to be cleaned, those shoes to sort, those clothes. This would be a good time to go through our closet and get clothes together for the homeless and things to donate. So let's make very good use of this time. Work on that. Remember, service is good for the soul. And remember, you got a friend out here.
Give a
Pax
shout
Stereo.
out to Gina Mosaic. She hollering saying, don't put your business out there, man.
I can't help it, Gina. I didn't know she was 18. She looked 19. What can I say?
Oh my God, man. Let me leave this alone.
Come on, y'all.
Done.
Let's do this. Ain't nobody got our DNA. Come on.
First off, I'm not your regular dude. I bust moves like a young MC. Yeah, sorta, that would be me. Got me thinking about putting down the mic one day. Then I get some more love. Thanks for the love you gotta play. Hey, what can I say? I'm a Leo to the finish, man. I love God, so my faith won't diminish, man. Once I step up to the mic, I speak truth. Hip-hop wasn't designed to exploit the black youth, but somewhere along the lines, we dropped the ball, yeah. I mean, that man in the mirror, yeah, that ball dude. But now I'm back to right the wrongs of my past world. So let me mark this off my list like my name is Earl. Articulate my thoughts clearly like Professor Les. Do you remember Rap City with Azure and Les? I'm looking at the front door, that's the main source. You're full yet, wait till I hit you with the main course. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. Tribe or shit alone. You like my raps, but really I write songs. I like to do it like this once in a while to show some versatility and make you all smile. It's been a long time coming, I know, I feel it too. The more I take a break, it's like the more I break through. With my timeless space boy funk, I'm on point. You bless this microphone every time I anoint the pen, the pad. I face the bad head on escape inside the music. See my diary's a song and song till I write my next verse. Then I go again into the studio. I feel I gotta flow again. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. They say they get me, I don't think they ever got me. My name's Kowalski, but they call me Kawasaki. Online I'm funds, but in real life I'm more like Chachi or Cola. I told you, I'm funky like granola. Bars, can't you see that I'm a star? Who pumps his own gas in the cold really fast? As I pass on your gold digging stash. I'd rather make my own money, not advance me loan money. Nope. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. So there you have it. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA.
Alexa, begin playlist, broadcast transition. See y'all.
Should I play the playlist?
Broadcast transition, yes.
Announcing.
Transition, yes. Alexa,
By the way,
begin playlist, broadcast transition.
Peace, you guys.
your playlist, Broadcast Transition, on Amazon Music.